My name is WSRX, or Noah Clark, and you are brought to you the WSR Feeder Series. This is the competition to decide some of the drivers who might be able to make it up to the main WSR Series. I am joined today by Drew, or You See Me Flying. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'm excited to be commentating you on this Feeder Series.
It's great to be here, man. What can I say? It's a pleasure to be watching these guys compete for a place to be in our main league, and I look for some good driving today. Not that many drivers, but some good driving, I think.
Definitely for sure. Chill Mo is the first man out on his outlap. We're at the Austrian circuit, the Red Bull Ring, a very quick circuit. The laps are about a minute 5 if you're good, but we'll see how the drivers get on as Chill Mo starts his first lap. Let's ride on board of him and see what he can do as Caddis joins the lobby. Let's see if he might be able to get into the race. He won't be part of qualifying, as going up the hill into the 100 meter, braking at the 100 meter, missing the apex a little bit, but now going down to the next DRS zone. Not too much to be made here in overtaking, but definitely in the main qualifying lap is now braking more and more, hitting the apex, going down. It's very easy to run too wide and get into the gravel trap and ruin your lap. Thankfully, these cars don't get stuck in gravel traps like they do in real life, so you're still able to go. But now, getting into Sector 3, these are crucial. Getting your braking even, but still getting easy on the throttle, quick on the throttle to maximize top speed. Going into the final 2 sweeping turns, braking at the minimal, but still keeping inside the track limits. And Chilmo, did he go a little bit too wide there? We're going to see if it was invalidated a lap. It wasn't. It's a 106.254. Claudio's the next across the line. It's a 1.7. D time for 1.6.420. Let's look at Element 10 now, who is in 4th position. Of course, not setting his qualifying lap yet, but now he is ready to get his first lap time on the board. Going around the final turn, crossing the apex a little bit there, and let's see what his time is going to be. It's going to be a 2nd position, a 106.270. Now the man on pole position, though, by just about 2 hundredths of a second, Chill Mo underscore.
We got one more person out here. Scar Logan, LPC, is out here doing his outlap, so he seems to be getting his car ready to hit the hot lap. We'll see where he can place up here with Chill Mo and Element 10. I gotta tell you, Noah, Element 10 is a little off his pace, because you know from just racing with him in normal multiplayer races and unranked lobbies that he's an extremely fast driver, and I expect him to honestly take one of the top 3 spots for sure in this feeder series. How do you feel about it?
I definitely think so as well. Honestly, I'm quite surprised to see him in the feeder series, but I do respect the grind to get into the main series, and I definitely think Element 10 is going to be definitely in the top 3, if not at least in the top 5. But a very impressive. There's a yell in Sector 3. Can we see who that was? And I don't believe anybody's gone off. Scar Logan LPC is now on his flying lap in that white and gold car, looking really, really nice. Going down the main straight, DRS open. Going now down in the Sector 3, getting close to Sector 3 as going around the sweeping turns. Again, you got to make sure you don't go too wide. You can easily take too much speed going into those downhill turns. Now, again, these are crucial. You want to get as much speed as possible. But now, Scar, oh my goodness!
No!
Who was that? Let's see who that was. That was Claudio. Claudio, who was already done with his lap, turns into the apex, and Scar Logan LPC has his lap ruined. Absolutely ruined his lap. Front wing gone. That's going to take a little bit of time to repair. That is not good indeed. That is completely Claudio's fault, who was already off on his lap, should have known to have gone out of the way. Claudio ruining a qualifying lap for Logan LPC, and you never know, Drew, it can be just that first lap that's your best, and that could have stole away pole position or higher up on the grid.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, I saw that coming from the beginning of the turn in point at that turn, man. I gotta tell you, I saw him coming up at the apex on the previous turn, watching him track out. And as soon as Claudio started entering that turn, I could tell there was nowhere for Scar to go. There was absolutely nowhere for him.
That is, honestly, it is a lapse of judgment, because you just can't be hitting apexes trying to, and Claudio is still going, considering the fact he's done with his lap. I believe, and Claudio has retired from the session, and I believe he was on low fuel mode, because most of these cars are on very low fuel, so they don't really make 2 or 3 laps. But Claudio retiring from the session. Very unfortunate for Scar Logan. It's going to take time to repair the front wing. Let's see, however, he can get back on the out of the pits and get a lap going. Element 10 is on another lap, I believe, or he had exited the pits. No, he is on another lap. He's pitting into the pits now. D time, let's see if he's doing a lap. I don't believe he is. I believe all these drivers are on their going in the pits now after their first lap, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm watching D time right now, and we'll see right here whether or not he's gonna go into the pits or.
And he is. Nope. Is he? No, he's not. It's just going to be a qualifying lap. Going very wide on the turn again. Don't got to deal with the sausage curbs like in real life. Let's see. It is a pole position time of 105.892. Smashing previous pole position by Chill Mo. Chill Mo is on his out lap. He's definitely going to look to get into the 105s. That is a blistering lap time by D time.
It might look like D time, honestly. I don't know. Is he going for another hot lap right now?
I don't believe he could. The fuel is, again, the fuel, over fuel the car would be detrimental to your time, so I don't think you'd be able to get around the track again for another qualifying lap unless he put in the low fuel. Even then, it's still very hard to get through into another qualifying lap.
Chill Mo's out here, definitely on a hot lap.
And a lot of the drivers sporting that really beautiful Xeon Dynamic skin. That's one of the last skins. It costs, I believe, around 5,000 or so competition points. So a lot of these drivers definitely seasoned in F1 2019. Definitely working hard to build up their racecraft. So if we can say anything about any of the drivers, one thing's for sure is that they're definitely building up a history in F1 2019. Let's look at Chill Mo. Where's he going to end up on the grid now? His previous time, he's not going to best it. It's going to stay second position.
It looked like there on the last turn, Noah, I was watching him come into the track in. And it looked
Scar
like
Logan! Scar Logan sets the fastest lap of the race. It's a 105.522 on pole position by another 0.3 of a second. Unbelievable stuff.
Look at this, man. I don't even know what to say right now. That's out of nowhere. D-time's out of nowhere. I knew Element 10 was going to bring it. But these other guys down in the 105s, you know, a good qualifying lap for most drivers in this game is going to be...
And Element 10 has not improved on his time. He's still fourth fastest. He's 0.2 off of his previous time lap. So Element 10 not bringing it all together at the Austrian Red Bull Ring.
I don't know. I think he might come back though. We still have 7 minutes left in the session. I think he's going to come into the
8 minutes about left in the session. So let's look over the line score of our top 4 drivers. Claudio, of course, retiring with a 107. He would start from the back of the grid if he kept that pole position time regardless. Scar Logan LPC, however, is in first position with a 105.522. D time 89.89 with a 105.892. Chill Mo with a 106.254 in third position. Element 10 with a 106.270. And pretty much all the drivers should be entering the pits now. As nope, looks like Element 10's going for another lap. Does he think he can improve on that time before? Let's see what it is. Oh, yeah. Element 10 with a 104.976. Forget about being off of the pace. That is a blistering lap time. That is a WSR main series lap time. Scar Logan LPC getting beat by not just 5/10 but 6/10 of a second. Unbelievable stuff. The times just keep tumbling down. Element 10 bringing it all together, and right now he's on pole position as long as none of the other drivers can decrease their times to a point to beat Element 10. But right now, Element 10, your definitive pole position leader with just 6.5 minutes to go.
I got to tell you, I was watching his lap towards the end there in Sector 3, and he hit that top of that hill with a double right-hander before the front straight like a champion. He threw the car in with reckless abandon, and he was all over those turns like stink on you know what. I got to tell you, he was in it, around it, and through it.
And I am very, very excited to see how Element 10 does. Not a lot of drivers at the moment, but we definitely would like to get some more soon, and I do believe we will get some more in if not this race, definitely the next race, as we are getting so many applications. If you are interested in being a part of WSR, make sure to use the application code that's listed above on our banner on YouTube, and you'll be able to apply for the WSR feeder series. All applications are reviewed, and we will accept them if we find them to be deemed useful. So that means, keeping your safety rating high, skill rating high. These are the kind of things we're looking for. People who can stand out and be the best they can be. Scar Logan is now going to set his flying lap.
Oh no.
Going a little bit too wide, and I think he is going to abort the lap. A yellow flag in Sector 1. I think that was just due to the amount of slowdown. D-time 89.89 now going up the straight. Looks like Scar Logan would definitely want to get out of the way because of the fact he hasn't boarded the lap. Let's see if we don't get another Claudio situation. DRS activated for both drivers. Hopefully Scar Logan can just kind of keep the gap up, maybe not getting out of the way, but this is going to play into D-time 89's hands a little bit, with a little bit of slipstream available if he can get close enough to the car without overtaking. But there he goes, the overtake happens, and Scar Logan got out of the way to make sure nothing happened. Going a little bit on the grass there, I don't think it's going to cost too much time for him, maybe a couple thousandths of a second, but that's really all it takes to not get you pole position. Now going too wide around the straight, now going on the apex. Is he going to go too wide? No, he's not. Let's see what that time is going to be. Is it going to be invalidated? Let's see. And I do believe it may have been. I didn't see if there was an improvement. I don't believe there was.
It was a 105.952. So
no improvement. So, but no invalidation either. We have just under 4 minutes to go. Element 10 is still in pole position. He is in the pits. Chill Mo is now on his outlap. Let's see if Chill Mo, who was sitting in second position now, but has dropped down to fourth position, seeing if he can get a little bit further up the grid. I must think he would like to. Warming up those tires now, wanting to make sure you get as much heat into those tires to get the maximum amount of grip. The car is in extremely low fuel if you're doing your final lap, making those few little tweaks to the front wing, trying to see if you can eke out a little bit more performance out of the car. Ultimately, though, these are the multiplayer cars. Everybody's driving multiplayer cars, which means that the performance of the cars is absolutely equal. So really, this is down to pure driver skill. Can Chill Mo make that driver skill happen? Can he put his car on pole position? We're going to ride on board of him as he finishes his outlap, and now accelerating down the straight, DRS activated, and let's begin his first qualifying lap. The outlap, of course, not going to matter, but now going into Sector 1, hitting the apex just perfectly and accelerating easily out of the first turn. Now going up the straight, DRS activated again. Uphill battle here, so the top speed not the highest it could be. Braking at the 100-meter board again. Hitting a little bit of that sausage curve, but not too much. Now going into Sector 2. Let's see what he can do. Again, DRS activated. trying to get as much top speed getting into the braking zone. He brakes at about the 150 board, as going a little too wide, but keeping it together. I think this lap's going to look pretty good as he's hitting all the apexes so far, braking, and oh no, he goes too wide and into the gravel trap. That is going to be it for Chill Mo. His lap is over. He's going to start in 4th position. Unfortunate for Chill Mo, who looked to be on it, looked to be hitting those apexes, looked to be just on the track planted, but not able to bring it all together, as he is going to probably finish the lap, I would think, as yes he is, but it's going to be too slow, already in the 1 minute 10, so unfortunate for Chill Mo. He is not going to be on pole position today.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go for another one here, and I hope he gets a better entry into that downhill right.
Looking at the ERS mode, he has about 30 now, about 25% left on the ERS. If it's on hot lap the whole time, the car does derate. We can't see exactly what his ERS mode is on, but I would suspect that it's in the high mode at the moment, as it is decreasing, but now I think it might be on hot lap. Again, you got to make sure to balance hot lap and your highs. You don't want to go too much on hot lap, because unknown fact by a lot of drivers, being on hot lap the entire lap will derate the car, which means ERS will get no deployment basically, which is going to kill top end speed.
Looks like that's exactly what's going to happen here. Getting real close.
I think he has managed it just about though, and he's going to keep it going as fast as he can. What's it going to be? It's not going to be enough. It's a 107.130. It's not enough. He's going to be stuck in 4th position. Scar Logan is in 2nd position, however, and he's going to look to make pole position. D-Time and Element 10 have decided to stay where they are in the pits. Element 10 is not going to try to challenge for pole position. There's a yellow in Sector 1 and 2. Who's that? And it looks to be Chill Mo. Chill Mo is still going. Technically, he's not finished, it seems, on his qualifying, so if he's still going to go again, I don't know if he overfueled the car in order to get those laps. We're going to look at Scar Logan though, because he is the challenge right now, closest to pole position. Let's see if what he can do. I didn't see the Sector 2 time. Now going around these sweeping turns, losing, it didn't hit the apex at all, and now not hitting the apex again, going too wide. This is not going to be pole position. It's going to be a 107.387, and that is not going to be good. And oh no, a crash. Scar Logan crashes actually at the start line. He basically just throws the car into the wall. He didn't know he was going to get pole position. And now Chill Mo is going to enter the pits now. Preferably, I believe he didn't have enough in it. Alright, qualifying's over. Element 10 is on pole position with a blistering lap of a 104.976. That was actually quite an exciting qualifying session. Used to be flying, even considering we only had 5 drivers.
Yeah, man, I can't be happy enough with Element 10 bringing it back. I saw the 106 time, whatever it was, 106 something, and I knew right from that was way off, and you know, I was waiting for him. I saw him last night put in a 104.7. I know he has 104 in him, and I was just waiting to see it.
And there are your top 5 there. Claudio going to start from the back. He would have anyway, even if he hadn't crashed. Or, sorry, retired. Chill Mo in 4th. D-Time in 3rd. Scar Logan LPC and Element 10 are your top 2 drivers. Chill Mo going in the chat a little bit. I don't know what he's going to say. Well, probably don't want to listen to it. Maybe a little bit of not so friendly for advertisement commentary going on in the chat, but we'll just have to wait and see. It's the Austrian Grand Prix, and we are just getting ready for the game to decide to load itself a little bit faster, and we will get into the Austrian Grand Prix. Drew, what's your predictions for this race? It is going to be a 50% race with only 5 drivers. Do you think the pack's going to stay close together? Are we going to be seeing a top 2, top 3 battle, or can we see all 5 drivers compete for a victory today?
So what I'm going to say is I'm going to go with Element 10 being the runaway winner here. I think that he's going to win by 10 seconds. And what I think is going to happen with Scar and D Time is they're going to fight hard for second place, and Mo and Claudio are going to fight for third. And as long as nobody crashes, it's going to be a really interesting race because second and third place are going to be fighting out the whole race, and fourth and fifth are going to be fighting. I really do believe, and you may not think so, but I do believe that Element is going to be in a class of his own with these 4 and 5 drivers on this track tonight.
The gaps aren't too far apart from each other. Scar Logan 5/10 off of pole position time, so it is a substantial amount in racing speed. But again, qualifying and racing is not the same thing. We just got to make sure that we're wary about that. You can have a good 1 lap, but you might not have a good 50% laps.
This is absolutely true. I agree with you there. What I think that Element, one of his, from watching him race over the last couple weeks, one of his flaws or one of his weaknesses is his ability to stretch together, 10 laps in a row without any mistakes. So he's going to need the time that he's able to gain on these drivers in the first 3 to 5 laps to be able to cushion himself for potential, going off track a little bit or getting some gravel.
And I do want to apologize to the viewers. The lobby do go quite slow. This pretty much happens the same thing in the main series. We just get these long loading times. Drivers all trying to enter into the lobby. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. We will bring you this WSR feeder series for the Austrian Grand Prix. We haven't hit the Austrian Grand Prix yet in the main series, but you can catch us tomorrow night on Sunday, same time at 7. Just be catching me in commentary. You'll be seeing UCME Flying battling out with the rest of the drivers at the Spanish Grand Prix for the 2019 WSR Formula World Championship. And I'm very excited to be bringing that to you. But right now, it's the Austrian Grand Prix for the WSR Feeder Series to see who is the future of WSR. And again, I would like to apologize to the viewers watching the stream. We are seeming to have connection issues as usual with these F1 lobbies. But we will get back to you very shortly, and we will get the start of the Austrian Grand Prix for the WSR Feeder Series. And we are getting set to go. It's the Austrian Grand Prix, and it's the WSR Feeder Series for the 2020 WSR Formula World Championship. Getting all the drivers set to go. All the drivers are loading up. It seems that one of the drivers did leave, so we will have a 5-man start for this Austrian Grand Prix. As we will get for the formation lap, it's cloudy skies at the Red Bull Ring. Let's see what these drivers can do. And just 10 seconds until the formation lap begins. And while we do that formation lap, let's go over the driver lineup. It's a very small driver lineup, as let's go over our top... sixth place does start, actually. Kata will start in 6th position, so we'll get a 6-man start. Even better. Element 10, however, is in pole position. Scarloak and LPC in 2nd position. D-Time in 3rd, followed by Chill Mo. Claudia 23 Rue is in 5th position, followed by Kata, who just joined into the lobby. And just going up in the Sector 2 now. You see me flying. The stakes are high in this first race. You definitely want to impress onto the live crowd. Do you know anything about this Kata driver? Or maybe he can steal the show. Who knows?
So he's just person that decided that he wanted to put his application in and he had the stats to back it up. We're looking for, as of right now, we're looking for a B safety rating or better, and a B attendance rating or better, preferably A. And we're looking for you to have at least 1,600 on your overall score, because we want to know that you're winning races, you're challenging for the front, you're getting pole positions, and that's in multiplayer. This way we know that you're going to be competitive when you come to the series.
And now just lining up, it looks like Scar Logan would have been ahead of Element 10, but that should change quickly as there it is. They're all lining up on the grid, and we are just about to get ready for the WSR Feeder Series, and I'm very excited to bring it up to you. Now, we just get ready for the 5 red lights, which will go on and then off, and we'll get ready. And now, the crowd cheers and roars, and we get 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's go! Scar Logan has a drive-through penalty for a jump start. That's going to be disastrous for his race. So at the moment, Element 10 is in first position, and he gets unchallenged into the first turn. All the drivers seem to go pretty clean so far through the turn. Scar Logan is going to be kicking himself for that jump start. And Element 10 is just going to be reveling in the fact he's going to still have the first position of the race. Scar Logan, though, going to be looking to try to get out of the way if Element 10 does, in fact, get up to him. What an amazing, pretty interesting start. I haven't seen a jump start in quite a long time. And it's not good to have those kind of starts, especially in the feeder series.
No, I saw that and I just bowed my head. It was so disappointing because that's going to really hamper Scar's race. But right now, what I'm watching was Catastrophe, whatever, really getting
And Catastrophe is off the track. Claudio's off the track. Sorry, Chill Mo's off the track, actually. I didn't see who... Did you see who the contact was between the drivers, or did they just go spinning off?
No, there was no contact. It just Mo lost it at the apex. Downhill went off.
Unfortunate for Chill Mo. And he's lost it a little bit there, too. Giving it too much throttle. Got to make sure you get the throttle on early, but get it smooth. You don't want to be pressing it too much in order to spin the car around. Scar Logan has not served his drive-through penalty yet. I'm kind of wondering why he hasn't yet. He has to serve it within at least 3 laps, if I'm not mistaken, or else he will get disqualified from the session.
One reason he may be considering not doing it until his absolute last possible lap is maybe he's going to put the hards on and try and finish this race, but I don't know if you can bring hards 33 laps, man. Not around here.
I don't think... I mean, the tire wear isn't too hard on the Red Bull Ring, but even so, 33 laps on any track is quite a challenge to do. But who knows, as Element 10 is closing up on Scar Logan LPC, we definitely don't want him to be holding up that driver. Claudio has gone down, and he's off the track again. There's a lot of off-track positions going on. LPC still hasn't pitted. Element 10 with a fastest lap of 108.617. That'll definitely go down as the race goes on. Claudio, though, is now behind D-Time, and Claudio is going to get slipstream as he's going to try to go around the outside in turn 1, braking very hard. And what a beautiful overtake by Claudio over D-Time. That was fantastic stuff.
Yeah, you got to say, what a good job timing the braking for just after he saw the other vehicle start to slow down and took the turn like a champion. Oh, no.
And now Element 10 trying to get ahead of LPC Logan. Is LPC, I don't even know if he's aware of the drive-through. This is not correct battling, ladies and gentlemen. If you have that drive-through penalty, why are you trying to... Oh my goodness, he's holding up Element 10. Element 10's trying to get ahead of Scar Logan LPC, who needs to serve the drive-through penalty pretty soon. I don't know why he wants to be still holding him up. And look at that, a brake check almost, it looked like. Still braking, and look at the... And now, finally, Scar Logan goes into the pits. But that was all, I want to say, bare minimum, possibly dirty driving right there. That was almost a disaster for Element 10, but he takes the lead. And now Kata, who started from 6th position, is up to 2nd position. So very good for him.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you there, Noah. I think that Scar Logan was 150% holding up Element 10, and it wasn't by accident. He knew he was going to have to get into the pits, and he was trying to make Element 10 spin or damage his car so that he would have to pit right behind him, and that's not clean driving.
That's not clean driving, it's dirty driving, and quite frankly, if we had it available, that would be a black flag, in my opinion, right there, because that's causing an intentional accident. Regardless, though, let's look at Element 10, who's 1.9 seconds ahead of Kata. Kata would love to get a podium position, having not even been in qualifying.
Yeah, he's making moves. I got to tell you, Noah, I watched him on lap one make some pretty serious moves on Chill Mo, and I thought that a couple of them on turn three, I thought turn three was going to be a disaster, but it turned out that they got through it. And here he is up here in second place, chasing down Element 10. This might be a real good race here, man.
Now Element 10, 2 seconds up on that position. Let's ride on board of Chill Mo, who's the closest to anybody, which is Claudio 23. Trying to see if he can get a position up, get into the podium positions. Still keeping within that 1 second, of course, and I believe he got the 1 second, so he's going to get DRS down this straight if he got in detection. Let's see if it opens up, and it did. Now getting that DRS, this is crucial, not for overtaking, but for making the gap even smaller to get into Sector 3 to possibly go for an overtake. Chill Mo, if he can get it all together, is a really gutsy driver, really knows his way around the track. The key thing is consistency for him, though. As look at that,
Oh, no.
Claudio goes off the track again, back in the gravel trap, missed his braking zone. Chill Mo and Scar Logan jump some positions, but Chill Mo now in third position. Good stuff for him. Not so good, however, for Claudio.
Yeah, I don't think anybody had anything to do with that except himself being a little flustered by Chill Mo being right up his butt. And I think he was getting ready for Chill Mo to make a move on him, and I believe that he thought too much about what was going on behind him. Starsmith taking a move on Chill now.
And they're going side by side up the turn and getting very close. Wheels banging, but Scar Logan almost pushes Chill Mo off the track, but I think it's quite okay, though. Chill Mo goes down the fourth. Scar Logan is making moves fast. He does not want to be stuck in the bottom, and he wants to be back up in those positions, but he's almost 13 seconds behind Kata. And in this kind of track, it is quite hard to build up, to decrease those gaps.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to come back from a 13-second gap. He's pulling quarter seconds and half seconds and then losing them right back. So it's going to be a matter of whether or not he can get pitted, get the right tires on, and manage his tires and his fuel. If he can do that towards the end of the race, I think he's going to have a chance to come back to second and first place to get a challenge. If he can't, he's not going to have a challenge, I don't think. He's too far back, and Element is moving too fast.
And just a lot of gaps forming up right now. Kata in second position, Scar Logan in third position. He is gaining a little bit of time by a couple tenths a lap. But again, a 50% race with 36 laps on a track like this can go by pretty quickly.
Yeah, these 50% races really, when you're driving in them, they feel when you're doing the qualifying and you've got your last qualifying lap and you're on your hot lap and you're getting ready to try and push. When you think about how much time you have for the race, it really feels like it's forever. And then when you hit lap 10, 11, 12, 13, and you start getting ready to pit, it starts to turn into a much shorter distance, especially if you're chasing somebody.
Now Element 10 is in first position, now 5.4 seconds ahead of Kata, so what was a 1.9 second gap has increased substantially. All the drivers are pretty far away from each other. No, Chill Mo's in the pits. He's the first driver to really make a real pit stop here, and I didn't see him. Did you see him change tires? I didn't see him change tires. I don't know what happened there.
No, I didn't see him change tires.
So, was that a drive-through? I didn't see him need a drive-through penalty. That's interesting.
He looked to still be using the same tires too, so that's a bit concerning.
It must have been a drive-through. I didn't see him need to serve a drive-through unless it was with the incident with Scar Logan where they touched wheels, but I didn't see that being an issue. So that is rather interesting. That wasn't maybe I didn't see him pit enough, so he might have gone in for tires, but he's still on the soft compound tire, so he would need to make another pit stop anyway.
Yes, he did pit. It shows tires 2. Yes, he did pit. He put soft back on.
So he's going to have to make another pit stop here, so going for a 2-stop strategy then.
That'll be interesting to see what happens with this 2-stop strategy, because he's going to be putting on a slower tire at the end of the race and pushing them a little bit farther. As you know, soft tires on this track and most of the tracks in the series aren't going to last more than 8 or 9 laps.
And I have been talking with him a little bit, but I'd like to bring Fly-By-Night into the chat just to give a little bit of analysis, as a lot of gaps are forming. Let's see if we can get Flyby into the commentary booth and speak his mind, see what he has to say about a few of the incidents going on in this race.
How's it going, Nick?
I don't think so either. I mean, it's just too big of a gap considering how good Element 10 is of a driver. Really what would have to happen would be a huge mistake on Element 10 part to crash. I wanted to get your take on the Scar Logan incident with Element 10, your take on what I thought to be a bit of unnecessary roughness or just maybe intentional driving to slow down Element 10. What was your take on that? Sounds good, and I would like to also say Kata has pitted. He's put on the medium compound tires, so I do believe that you might be able to stretch it to a 1-stop, but preferably I think a lot of the drivers would still go for a 2-stop with the medium compound tire on. Thank you, Flyby. We will get back to you shortly and talk to you soon about a 3-second penalty for Claudio for multiple warnings. I'd have to assume that was track extension. You see me flying.
Him just go real wide, man, everywhere, left and right.
So not getting his braking zones in check.
I think actually what's happening with him is it's a two-step failure. It's a late braking combined with getting on the gas too much too soon, and it's pushing his car out wide, or he's over throttling the car and he's not putting the grip down.
It doesn't help that one of his end plates is off of the front wing. The front downforce isn't too much of an issue on this track. And again, he goes too wide, and he's gone into the wall. That's going to be more damage on the front wing. Now half of the front wing is almost gone. It almost looks like a 1970s wing plank that we used to see. And he's definitely have to go into the pit. That all blacked out car not doing fantastic for Claudio right now, who is not having a good time around this Red Bull ring.
No, I got to tell you, when he was doing his qualifying, I thought that there might be a problem with the speed on this track when he retired so soon with like 8 minutes left he retired?
I do believe so.
I was a little concerned with that, with the 1 minute 7 second qualifying time. You know, I really wanted to see everybody down in the 106s 105s, and I'm very, very happy to see Element 10 pushing the limits and getting it into the 104s because, as you know, in the real life F1 driving, those cars are doing at most low 1 minute 102, 103s, and to be anywhere near that in a sim, hats off.
That is pretty awesome. Scar Logan has pitted and put on the medium compound tire. Claudio's into the pits. Of course, he had to change his front wing. And what tire did he put on? Let's see what that was. And it's the hard tire. So he's going to look to get to the end of the race as long as he can keep everything in check. Those hot brakes are glowing inside Claudio's car. Definitely, I would assume, with all the hard braking he's had to be doing, the late braking, that's going to heat up the brakes substantially.
So what I was worried about when we started this was Element 10 walking away with it, and now what I'm worried about is Element 10 coming up on back markers.
And let's look where Element 10 is, and yeah, he would be coming up near D-Time would be the next driver. D-Time will need to get out of the way. And again, you know, even with these kind of situations, getting out of the way of drivers, this is crucial to see what kind of driver you are, making sure you get out of the way correctly from drivers. D-Time is going quite slowly. I think he's trying to find a good way to let Element 10 by. And he's still trying to slow up. And, oh, well, Element 10 might be held up a little bit here. Let's see. Element 10, let's see. It says Element 10 is ahead. Does it look like it's ahead of, I didn't see.
Catastrophic just passed D-Time as a lap car with a blue flag. I think that's what he was waiting for.
I see,
Element
okay.
10 is now entering Sector 3. Ending Sector 2, and D-Time's now in Sector 1, so...
Okay, so I don't believe that's going to be an issue. Let's see where Claudio is in reference to Element 10, and Claudio is just getting into Sector 3, so Element 10 will have to worry about him too much. D-Time's in last place now, 23 seconds behind Claudio, so definitively out of the race. A lot of big gaps forming, so really the key here is consistency for a lot of the drivers.
It's going to be focused too, though, as you know. You can really get lost in one of these races if you've got a 10-15 second gap ahead of you and you don't have anybody to push it next to or chase after or run away from. You really can get monotonous, and if you're not focused and paying attention in these simulator games, you can really start to drift off.
I definitely remember that. Of course, I remember I did an endurance race one time on GT Sport for 6 hours, and I was in the lead, and getting into the later part of the race, I was so unfocused. I actually just completely went off into the gravel trap, forgot to even brake. I was just completely out of it. That's how much taxing being in first place, just not seeing anything ahead of you, can do to you. Of course, that's a little bit of a different situation, the amount of hours I was driving, but nevertheless, you have to keep wary, and you have to make sure that you're staying consistent and you're not creating more issues for yourself. Element 10 has pitted now. I do believe 25 seconds is enough to make a pit stop and still remain in first place.
I think so. No wing damage, right?
No wing damage for Element 10. And nope, it's just going to be a pit stop, and he's going to switch on the medium compound tire. That was a blistering pit stop.
Wow.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, that was, if there was any doubt he wouldn't be in first position, there's no doubt now as he exits the pits, almost going too close on the wall, though, and hitting his front wing. Kata is 7 seconds, 7.4 seconds behind, so still a very definitive lead over Element 10.
What did we put on Element 10?
Element 10 medium put on tire, so not only is he going to have this gap, but he's also going to have newer tires.
The only one right now, Noah, that's going to be able to push to the end of the race is going to be Scar Logan. I don't think Claudio is going to be able to manage the tires that long, just judging from the way that he's been driving these last few laps with these new hard tires on. He's going too far off track, hitting the dirt. He seems to be over-revving the engine on exits. I don't know if he's going to be able to do a one-stop with these hard And there he goes again, all wide on the front straight.
Flyby, let's get you back in here. You've been watching the race a little bit. I want to get your take on the race so far. Gaps forming. What are you looking for in this race to really analyze here right now? And what is your thought on Claudio right now? Do you think he can continue on with the race, not being consistent in braking zones? What do you think Claudio has to do to put it back together and salvage a little bit of a race here, as he's 38 seconds out of 4th position?
I gotta say, looking at these lap times for everybody over these 16 laps, we're seeing a lot of inconsistency down with Claudio and D-Time. And even Scar, he's got a couple laps in here that are in the 125s, 120s, high teens, and that's pretty inconsistent. Chill Mo has some fairly decent lap times. He's got 2 laps. One of them's definitely a pit stop, and the other one I think is an off. But his lap times are pretty tight. They're within a 2-second window between 108 and 110 and a half, just about. Catastrophe is also doing really well with his lap time. Every single one of them except 2 and the opening lap are under 110 something, which is great. Then you've got Element 10 up here, whose fastest lap is a 107.7, which is a good lap time for a race for sure. And everything is under a 111 regardless, except his pit stop, pretty much, which is great to see.
I would like to apologize to my viewers. My microphone is giving off a little bit of a sound issue. I'm trying to fix it at the moment, so just bear in mind there if that background noise is my microphone connection.
Yeah, right now he's got 4 warnings plus a penalty that he served during his pit stop. So his next warning is going to be a penalty, for sure. And right now, I think him and Scar are the only people with any final warnings. Scar got a warning on lap 14.
You would have to think so, just considering just how much faster he is from the fastest time. What's the fastest time below Element 10, Drew? You said
Like a 108.
so over a second.
No,
But Scar Logan
Chill
definitely.
has a 108.5.
But he just had a pit stop, and he is going on the medium tires, so that is going to be the end of his pit stops, preferably going till the end of the race. So, let's move on from Element 10. Who right now do you think is the standout driver? Who have you seen being the driver to watch out for as we go further on through the season? What about you? You see me flying. Who do you think right now is your standout driver apart from Element 10?
I mean, I gotta agree with Nick on that one. He's catastrophic. Is just he's him and Element are pushing lap times that the other guys are hitting once every time they pit and have their tires to perfect temperature, have full ERS. These guys are doing that every lap. So, to have that type of consistency with, for some other drivers, those are their fast laps. To have the fast laps for other people be your consistent laps, that's really nice to see. And he did a great job getting through the field without having any issues. He didn't have any penalties. He didn't hit anybody. He didn't late break or brake check or push anybody off the track. And we'll keep an eye on him definitely moving through the field, and we'll watch Element 10 as well. These guys will definitely be two drivers that we're going to want to keep track of.
Element 10, the 6th place D time is a minute behind 5th position, as he actually is coming up on D time again. And you just want to make sure that D time doesn't hold up Element 10, that he doesn't cause him to have an accident. What a travesty for Element 10 that would be if that was to be the case. Now getting ever so closer, blue flags being waved. And is he going to get out of the way? And now going into the turn, yes, he does. He gets out of the way. Element 10 having no issues so far with any of the back marker drivers. As actually, it seems to be D-Time has gone into the pits. He's still on the soft compound tire. Let's see what... He's going to go on the hard compound. No, sorry. Yeah, it is the hard compound tire. Interesting move so far back. You would think maybe the medium compound tire just have a little bit more speed, but definitively in last position, he's going to go onto the hard compound tire to finish out the race. We're on lap 24 of 36. And you see me fine. Have you noticed anything to keep an eye on at the moment?
So what I've been looking at is trying to see if we're going to catch somebody trying to dive into the pits here in about 5 laps and set a fastest lap time. Because as we know, you will get points. Everybody in this race right now, if you pit and you get a fastest lap, you will get awarded the championship point. So I'm really watching to see who's going to try and dive in and steal the fastest lap from Element.
Let's hope that there is a challenge for that fastest lap. It would make things a little bit more interesting. I see some diving into the pits. Quite frankly, the top 3, it's tough because Catastrophic would be in the best position to possibly do that, but he's only 15 seconds behind. Scar Logan's only 15 seconds behind him, so there's not really a gap for a pit stop there. Claudio really would be in the best position to... Chill Mo would be in the best position to be making that pit stop. Claudio is 36 seconds behind him. So really, if you don't want to be giving up positions, your best bet would be Chill Mo to get that fastest lap of the race without giving up the podium positions.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Unless the Africa can open up that gap, because you're absolutely right. 15 seconds is not enough time. He'll lose a podium position in spite of a fastest lap, and there's no reason to do that. You would lose, what, 7 points to gain 1?
And Element 10 still in first position, having absolutely no issues during this race, has stayed consistent all the way through. If we had drivers of the day, Element 10 would be a shoo-in for it, absolutely. Just out and out, the most consistent driver right now. And Catastrophic has gone into the pits. Catastrophic's into the pits. What's he going to set? It's another medium compound tire, actually. No, is it the soft? And
soft.
There was a bit of a holdup there on the pit stop. He didn't get released right away. It is the soft compound tire, though. Scar Logan, LPC, does take second position. Catastrophic is going to go for that fastest lap, but was that really smart? I don't think it was, just because of just how, like, again, you get the fastest lap, but the points you lose, it's not going to make up the difference.
He's going to have to pit again. He just pitted for soft tires with 11 laps to go, and he's going to push for a fastest lap. That means that he is going to burn these tires in the first 3 laps, and he is going to have to pit again.
So not only has he lost a position, but he's going to essentially lose even more time, as Catastrophic has just a 7-second gap with Chill Mo, which means he would easily lose 4th position again. So you have to hope Catastrophic gets fastest lap here, else this has been a real blunder of strategy by him. As who is that? I believe that is Chill Mo. It looks to be who's no, that's Scar Logan. Sorry, Catastrophic is just 2.4 seconds now, 2.3 seconds. So he's in fact gaining on Scar Logan like quite a lot, as you would presume, with much faster tire compound on board. And look at the time slowed down so much. Scar Logan, the gap is just decreasing and decreasing by tenths and tenths and tenths. Scar Logan just has enough. Scar is on hard compound tire, but still, even so, just the amount of time that's being lost. Scar Logan has absolutely nothing right now of these hard compound tires. Catastrophic might actually be kicking himself, because this might ruin the fastest lap. And again, this is all that's important. And he goes off the track and almost hits Catastrophic. That could have been a nasty situation right there.
It looked like he may have been trying to get out of the way too much. I'm not sure what happened there.
Either way, Catastrophic didn't lose too much time, I believe. Here he comes. Is it going to be a fastest lap of the race? Now going around the final turn. Here he comes. It's going to be, yes it is. It's a fastest lap. It's a 107.465. Fastest lap of the race.
Well done.
Element 10 is 36 seconds out of Catastrophic, though, which means that he could pit again and get fastest lap again. So does Element 10 really care so much about that extra point? I mean, it is an extra point. Let's see what he does. We're just in the closing laps of this race now. The sun has come back out, and the heavens are shining bright on the Red Bull Ring. Element 10 is not pitted yet. He has, I believe that's going to be 7 laps to go on this race. Lap 29 of 36. Element 10, will he pit and steal fastest lap away from Catastrophic, or is Catastrophic gone the fastest lap? No doubt.
Catastrophic is pulling a little bit of time back. He's gotten a second and a quarter out of Element, but I really think Element's going to take the pit at lap 30, 31, and he's going to burn. He'll get a 10, 15 second lead back.
And even with that amount of time, that's all that would be needed in order to win this race. Catastrophic has dropped off time drastically from that first lap. Let's ride on board of Element 10, who has come around the final turn again. He has not decided to make that pit stop yet. Will he make that pit stop and go for that fastest lap? It is an extra point. It is nice to have, but does Element 10 really want to risk going so fast with such a huge gap? It's not too far different from what Senna did in Monaco, crashing the car out after being so far ahead of the rest of the pack. The team told him to slow down, and he didn't, and he actually crashed. That is not something you want to do. This isn't Monaco, to say the least, but it is still... you still don't want to be pushing with so much on the line. It is a race win. To be able to win the first race of the season would be very nice indeed as you move forward for the rest of the season.
I've got to say, it's really nice to have you as a commentator because you do have a lot of sim racing experience. So you understand quite well the timing and the reactions that you need to have in order to push for a fastest lap. You need to be in it to win it on corners. You need to be accelerating at the absolute earliest possible moment that you can and braking at the latest with the proper pressure, hitting apexes at the top speed that you possibly can. And if you're going to do that, you know as well as anybody, you're at 10 tenths and the opportunity for a mistake is just so high.
And again, it's just, I don't think it's worth it making that fastest lap. You don't want to be risking, not only, let's just say he doesn't have an accident, but it's a little bit of a crash and he gets part of his front wing gone off. That's easy. That's a catastrophic picking up the bones. I just don't see it being very responsible for Element 10 right now to make that pit stop. It's just a big waste of time, I think, as now he gets out of the way from D-time. I just don't think it's worth it to risk the race win. Again, Element 10 is a consistent driver, and nobody's taking that away from him, but every consistent driver can still make a mistake. Ayrton Senna was at the top of his game at Monaco, still crashed out of the race and lost the race, trying to go so fast. Trust me, real life isn't all that different from sim racing. That mindset of a racer is still with you, and you don't want to lose it. You don't want to get caught in the moment being the fastest driver. You just want to win. That's the ultimate goal, is to win. It's not to come third, fourth, fifth, or sixth, as Senna once said perfectly in an interview.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%, man. And we'll be filling this series out with racers that are going to show up, race hard, race clean, and show up every week, because there's money involved for the people that get to the top of this rank of this series and get into the rank of the main championship. So I can't wait to get 15 drivers on the track and watch these guys go all out.
Element 10 is 40 seconds out from Catastrophic, so if he did make a pit stop, the gap would be about 20 seconds, so I don't believe he's going to do it. Scar Logan, however, has pitted, and he is going to set on the soft compound tire. So Scar Logan is going to look to make the fastest lap of the race. Chill Mo is 32 seconds behind. He is not going to be challenging for that third position, even after this pit stop. Let's see what Scar Logan can do with the fastest tires right now, which would be the soft compound tire. Let's see what he can do as a yellow in Sector 2. Who was that? It is Claudio. Claudio is having major issues with those hard compound tires, which are very old right now. On lap 33 of 36. And he just has to be, he just seems out of it. And yeah, look at that. Front wing is almost gone on that car. Half of it's gone. Definitely a race to forget for Claudio, who has not been in it whatsoever. As will he make the pit stop? No, he's not. There's not really too much of a point. But he has so much lost downforce. The last thing Claudio wants to do is be a trouble to some of the cars from behind if he can't get out of the way easily because of that downforce loss.
Element 10 went off on turn 1 a little bit. I would not be surprised to watch him dive into the pits right now. Yep. There he goes.
Element 10, he has pitted. Nope, wait. Element 10 is he's still on the track for me, and there he is. He's into the pits. And let's see what he can do. Scar Logan.
What do you think he's going to put his time at, Noah? What do you think that fastest lap's going to come in at?
If it's going to be a fastest lap, Could we see 106? Do you think?
I think he's pulling a 106.9.
106.9, I think that could be possible too. Again, if it all really depends if he puts it all together. Full ERS. And he just gets ahead of, who was that? That was D-Time, so not to worry about that. That's not going to be a battle he's going to have to worry about. Claudio is just scampering around the track again. Just a bit of a danger, I think, with half of that front wing, loss of downforce, getting out of the way of drivers if he has to. Again, just a race to forget for Claudio, to say the least.
Yeah, I would agree with you with that one. I'm excited to see this time on Element 10 coming into Sector 2, warming these tires up.
Scar Logan gets a 107.119. Fastest lap of the race.
Yep.
Catastrophic is in second position, though I don't think he cares too much. He got the position back, but his tires are going to be dead, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. He'll definitely finish. Now, Element 10, what's his lap time going to be? Went a little bit wide in that turn. Is he going to get the fastest lap of the race right now? And he's not. It's going to be plus 15 seconds. Outlap. Sorry, no. So now this is the real lap. Let's get the fastest lap of the race. Is it going to be fastest lap of the race? Is now he's going up the hill, and he's going to have one of these back marker cars to work with for slipstream. That's going to help him a lot. If he gets in one of these DRS detection zones, it could help him even more. Now going down the main straight, no DRS activated there, and putting it to the limit. We're going to look at his Sector 2 time. That's really going to show if this lap is going to be a fastest lap of the race. This so perfect on those turns, not extending too much, but still pushing the limit to the limit. And now just look how great those turns are. Let's look at Sector 2. It's a second below his Sector 2 best time. That's absolutely fantastic. But he's going to have DRS now going into the he might have second. No, he's not, because, oh my goodness, there's a bit of
Mo.
Oh dear, Mo. Mo just completely ruins Element 10's fastest lap. And no, it's still a fastest lap. It's a 107.038. It definitely would have been faster if Chill Mo hadn't held him up. But nevertheless, it's still a fastest lap. It's the last lap of the race. I don't believe any other drivers are going to be able to make up that. Again, with that first lap, it's really all that you have with that tire. And Scar Logan's just plus a lot of time on that sector. Chomo held him up a little bit, but not too much, and Element 10 was still able to get the fastest lap of the race. It has been a star-studded show for Element 10, who has led every single lap of this race, and he has been the definitive driver of the day. If we even had that, let's just say we do, it's definitely Element 10. As he goes into Sector 2, it's 1.4 seconds off. He's not going to be challenging for a fastest lap of the race, but now Element 10 in Sector 3, going around the final few turns. Element 10 has shown us what it means to get into the WSR main series. Going around the final turn, going near the wall, and there it is, your race winner, Element 10. Chomo finishes his race as well in 4th position.
What a race, man. I can't believe 29 seconds to second place, and I gotta tell you what, Catastrophic was not moving at a snail's pace.
That's just going to mean just how much it means that, I mean, pole position is important here, but still. Unbelievable stuff. 28.9 seconds, the final. Scar Logan coming around, and Claudio still hasn't finished the race yet. As there he goes across the line. D-Time 2 laps behind. Not a race to remember for him. But Element 10 is your race winner. Well, Fly By Night, let's talk about it. What was your race review after this race? And you see me fine. What are your final thoughts?
I gotta agree with Nick. I think that Element 10 is gonna be the driver to beat in this series. And I remember, picking him from the list of drivers to invite and thinking to myself, I remember racing with him a couple days ago, and he beat me. So he's going to be one of the guys to beat in this league, and he is in fact delivering on that thought, 100%.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Flyby, can you tell us the final race results there? I'm not in the league, so you would have to be able to tell me. Can you give us the final points tallies just to make sure everything's in check? And again, you have to think, though, with that fastest lap, could have been faster if Chilmo hadn't held up Element 10 at the end there. I think it would have been in the 106s easily. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been exciting to bring you the first WSR Feeder Series race. Make sure to join us tomorrow for Sunday's race, the main series for the Spanish Grand Prix. My name is WSRX.
My name's You See Me Flying.
And you've been watching Worldwide Sim Racing, the pinnacle of sim racing. Have a great night, everyone.